Hello everyone, welcome to Club Deck Corner here on Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. We are live on YouTube tonight and on Twitter, so get yourself over to the YouTube channel, get yourself subscribed and get yourself involved in the live chat. I am Scott Carney and I'm being joined by Ross McLean. Ross, we are actually going to be discussing a Rangers win tonight. What is happening in this world?
What is happening, mate? Honestly, it is, I believe, a month to the day since we got our first league win against Livy. And we're here to speak about the win following that. It's been way too long, but it's an absolute joy to be sat with you tonight, mate, to sit and discuss it. So, yes, get your comments in, folks, because there's some positivity on the horizon.
Excuse me. Yes, there is some positivity on the horizon, and yeah, in the midst of Scottish football setting itself on fire a little bit more every day, we are going to start with a win and a well-deserved win. I think Ross will start with the win over Kilmarnock on Sunday at Ibrox. Danny Röhl's obviously first game in charge domestically, and his first game at Ibrox. Basically, I mean, in the nicest way to put it, Ross, no one is getting carried away, even in the slightest. They aren't. We're not getting carried away pretending that everything's fine, everything's rosy. But I don't think it can be underestimated just how crucial it was for Danny Röhl at the start of his domestic campaign, his domestic tenure, if you like, whatever you want to call it, his first game in charge domestically, for him to get 3 points. It was imperative for him to get off to a win, and he did just that.
He did just that, mate. 100% win rate. The guy is here. He's here, and we are turning a coin.
In the league, because somebody will say that, so I'll just before somebody else says it, in the league.
Aye, of course, I know. There's silver linings and all that, but I'm honestly, Sunday was very refreshing, but it was very, very refreshing. And as you say, we won't get carried away. It wasn't the most complete performance. It's never going to be with the circumstances, but second half especially was at times a bit of a joy. It was an absolute joy, not just because you're obviously you've scored more goals than you've let in, which is a first, but it was just some of the football on the show was like, that's what we're after, and that's only with a short period of time for Rohl to implement any sort of ideas that he has. So I'm very, very happy after the weekend, mate, and going into this week, a massive week. You can't ask for much more. So I'm sure we'll get into the game into its own individual bits, but as a whole, mate, for me, 3 points up the road. It's been way too long since I've been able to say that. And yes, thank goodness it's back.
Look, mate, on reflection on the game, looking back at it, we've been watching the game back, it was pretty routine. I mean, I'm not going to say it was like fully routine, obviously, because there's still definitely things to work on, but it kind of is as you would expect a game against a kind of struggling Kilmarnock side at Ibrox. We looked much more in control. We looked calmer on the ball. We looked a little bit better at the back, all things that we'll discuss about. And yeah, obviously at the game at the time, when you concede as well, after taking the lead, everything's heightened. You're emotionally involved in the game, and it doesn't maybe feel as comfortable as it does when you kind of watch it back and reflect on it. But when it went 3-1, I went game, set, and match, and I went hallelujah for that. Like I had every confidence. I didn't feel in any great danger, just based on the way the game had kind of panned out. I thought Rangers looked a bit more solid at the back. Not fully there yet, no, but we did look much more solid. And yeah, it was an enjoyable day, and I left Ibrox feeling pretty good about myself and pretty good about Rangers, which is a nice place to be, considering we haven't seen a league win at Ibrox, barring the cup game, or a domestic game, a domestic one, barring the cup game against Hibs, who we'll come to talk about later in the show as well. So yeah, very good. Amanda, thank you very much for becoming a YouTube member. Very much appreciate it. Thank you very much for the support. But as I say, Ross, Rohl, I think already has shown yes, he'll still be figuring out the squad. He'll still be figuring out these players. He'll be figuring out where they work, where they don't work, what he can do and what he can't do. But immediately from the start, we've seen that Majowski was starting up front with Danilo. Danilo coming back out the cold, and let's not lie, he has definitely been left out in the cold a little bit. He comes back in, and immediately there's a change of formation. Before we even got to Ibrox, obviously I seen the team sheet. I said that's not a 4-3-3. There's definitely going to be a change in that. At times it was a kind of 3-5-2 or a 3-4-2-1. I kind of thought at times, more so in the second half, probably the 3-4-1-2. But it's such a positive sign, I think, for all involved. And I'm not blowing smoke up the guy's backside too much. I'm generally not. But immediately he's went, right, after what I seen on Thursday night, we can't continue to do what we were doing. I have to find a way to win games. And one thing he's done is stuck by his guns. He said that. He said, first and foremost, Rangers need to win. We need to win football games. The attractive football, the entertaining football can come after it. It's all about adaptability. And I think that's exactly what he showcased to us with the way that he lined up. And with the start 11, Danilo coming back in, you can tell that he's testing the squad to its full extent, really. I think about who can I rely on and who can I not. But it's crucial for him, mate, to show the fans that he's willing to adapt.
100%. There's no ego in his decisions so far. There's absolutely none at all. I know, again, it's only a small sample, but as you say, he makes that change when it's needed, and not for the first time. You look at the first game, he brings in Giga right in at the goal. He's honestly, I was saying to my brother, I don't know what games he's been watching in terms of how to. Before he's came in the door, what games is he watching and thought, I'll pick my team off that. So it's been a while since Giga's played. It's been my goodness, long time since Danilo's played. So you wonder what games has he been watching. He's probably watched all of them, to be fair. But as you say, mate, a 3-5-2 is kind of what I figured out in my head as well. Magoma playing quite high up in the left. Again, no tactician. Yeah,
seemed to suit him.
It did, definitely. And it was a completely new identity. I doubt that'll be the Rohl identity. If you know, I mean, it might be, you never know. But it's just if we can find as many different ways to play as possible, then brilliant. Obviously, traditionally, as you say, mate, 4-3-3. We've been used to Rangers 4-3-3 for years. So if we can come away with, right, you can do a 3-5-2 and you can do it comfortably as well, then brilliant. That's class. Especially when we do have. We do have strikers there that we should be able to play two up top. There's the budget suggests that we should be able to play two up top. So if we can try and exercise that, then brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So yes, he's a very intelligent sounding man when he speaks about tactics. Danny Röhl. I think it was you're saying he had in ball possession. It was like 3 10s and 1 6, whatever, to kind of speed up the play. I kind of sat there and thought. No idea what you're saying, but I love it. I love it. Genuinely, he seems like the right guy for me. So, there's a reason why he's getting paid the big money, mate, and he's making use of the money that are paying him because he's making the right decisions. So, yes, Danny Röhl. It's the Germany talk. I've not yet brought it out. It's on the verge, mate. It's on the front coat hanger in the wardrobe. So, stay tuned for the next episode.
If there's 2 wins this week, mate, I give you full permission to wear it on Tuesday in the pod, mate. Full permission to wear it on Tuesday. There'll be somebody that's offended by Germany now. They'll be like waiting for you to wear it so they can give you a go, mate. But yeah, no, I agree with you. And I think with the way that we lined up, it did seem to suit us a bit more. I think it might have caught Kilmarnock a little bit off guard. Kettlewell, I don't have a massive opinion of in terms of I don't rate him very highly as a manager at all. Kilmarnock are struggling, but into the game, Rangers controlled it. I thought we were on top. I didn't think we were in any real great danger. A few nervous bits at the back. I think it's to be expected. The team are obviously human. They're aware that we didn't have a league win. In the league up to that point on Sunday, so they're aware of that. They know that that's kind of hanging over them, and we take the lead after a really well worked goal. I thought a kind of set piece ball in by James Tavernier, and Cornelius is there to turn it away. Jack Butland makes a mistake for their goal rush, and there's absolutely zero doubt about that. However, I if I had to be pushed right now to say who our player of the season has been so far, it would be Jack Butland. Jack Butland has made a mistake there. I'm not going to pretend that he hasn't. However, we've won the game, and yes, that obviously helps my ease of forgiving him. But I think he can be forgiven for this, considering he's dug us out of some serious, embarrassing defeats, goals against, even though they are bad as they stand. But considering what he's been seen and happening in front of him, you let him off with this one, surely.
No, aye, definitely, 100%. Though, I mean, again, as much as he made the mistake for the goal, I think in the second half he makes an outstanding stop. From I think it was probably quite late on, but honestly, outstanding save.
I think that was still at 2-1 though. I think we were only 2-1 up. I think when that save was made, I don't think we were 3-1 up. Yeah, I can't remember for sure. But yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Sorry, Ross, continue.
No, you're spot. I think it was at 2-1. It's so he's got that. Butland has unfortunately got a mistake in him. We've seen that, but I think that, as you say, mate, for the recent form, I can't hold that against him, because that's he stopped it from being I was going to say he stopped us from losing. We've lost regardless, but he stopped it from being an absolute mauling at times. So not much criticism for me for Jack Butland. And he made up for it at the end of the game with that save. So first half, mate, as you say, relatively routine. Obviously, as I say, it's not perfect. It's not going to be. I do hope that January is iron up some targets, put it that way, because there will need to be some money spent. But for what it is just now, for what we've got, I'll take that first half every day of the week, because especially after what we saw on Thursday, I mean, that's you could not predict what you were going to see. So big smiles from me after that first half.
I think as well, even when we went a goal down, I thought the response was good. Goal down, sorry, when Kilmarnock equalised. I'm so used to saying going a goal down. When Kilmarnock equalised, it was a good reaction from the players as well. It wasn't heads down. We've seen this team look really sorry for themselves when things kind of go ahead. There's a bump in the road during a game of football. You see them kind of going into their shells and into their own heads. And I really didn't think that appeared at all on Sunday, which was, again, reassuring that there may just be a change on the horizon. There may just be a different mentality getting installed throughout the team, and that's all you've got to hope. And in the second half, he made a change, mate. He brought off Majowski, who I'll come to in a bit. We took off Majowski and put on Mikey Moore, and definitely went to a more 3-4-2-1 with kind of 2 10s, really. And I thought Rangers were great. I thought we came out in that second half and showed every bit of desire that you want to see, every bit of application, every bit of work rate that you want to see during a game of football. And I thought it was the basics, the fundamental basics of being a Rangers player, playing at Ibrox in a home league game against a team that you're expected to beat. It was everything that you want to see. It is work rate, it is application, it is not giving up on balls, it is pressing them, it's making things uncomfortable for them. And I thought we dominated the game, scored one particularly very good goal with the ball out to the left-hand side when we go across that in. And Danilo's finish here is absolutely top draw. I mean, I cannot, as much as I have my doubts about Danilo, that is an outstanding finish, the way he kind of... The ball's slightly behind him, and the way he heads it down into the ground, the only place that the keeper's not really going to get a touch of that's for it to bounce off the inside of the post and into the back of the net, and he does it. This is a very impressive goal, Ross, and we have to hope that, and remember, we paid £6 million for this guy, so let's hope it's a start of a return to form for Danilo.
Oh, 100%. It definitely needs to be. I know that I'm sure there was a smirk on Mr. Pearson's face. It probably did hurt the guy a wee bit, but we do love to see Danilo.
He did look up at me when he scored. He did look up and Danilo scored, and he was giving it big licks. So I think we both had a wee laugh at each other when Danilo scored, because both of us have gave him a torrid time on here.
No, it's understandable though. It is understandable. As you say, that $6 million fee, that's a lot of dosh for a striker, and a lot of dosh for a player for us, any position, to be fair. But yeah, cracking finish from him. That's what he's capable of. I always remember Danilo scoring that goal in it was the final against the game at Hampden against Celtic. It was literally straight after he came on, and he has got that goal scoring knack about him. It's just where it hides sometimes, and that's the frustrating. But if we can have three fit firing strikers, then superb. It's been so long since that's actually been the case, because even when we had Dessers and Igaman, Danilo was kind of in and out. He was injured. So if we can get our three strikers all coming together, then honestly, the more the better. And I will say as well, Magoma has got some cross on him. That's quite a few occasions that I've noticed him. And for a young lad, 19 years of age, and he's putting in balls like that, it's wild. So I know that he's on a loan. Don't fall off a loan player. He's had a bit of a tricky time for the recent games, but outstanding from Makoma as well. But yes, 2-1, as you say, how many times we went into the second half and it's just no kicking on at all.
Yeah,
so
flat,
already exactly
passive. Yeah.
So you wonder what his Rohl's went and said in his halftime team talk. If it's anything like some of the videos of him on the pitch, there was one video in particular going about Twitter where you can see him literally, like, the hand gestures, everything, at players screaming at them. So if you imagine, chuck the changing room door closed, what is he going to do in there? And for a guy who seems like quite a humble, quite a relaxed guy, you can see he's got that serious side to him. And whatever he said, it worked, because you're scoring, as you say, mate, one in particular, good goals in the second half. So yes, a second half worth watching. I love it. Yeah. Honestly, no words.
I think from an outsider looking in, obviously maybe not on Thursday, he didn't have a lot of time. Obviously, we have to kind of forget about the European game, I think, and move past it. We're not, I doubt we're going to have some serious success in the Europa League this year in terms of having a good run in it. In that regard, I think it should be pretty much not forgotten about, because I know it's important to the club for financial terms, but for me, I'm not really fussed about it anymore at all. But what I seen, and especially after watching the game back, even at 2-1, we didn't drop off. There was no drop off in terms of thinking that the game was done. Rangers continued to push. Kilmarnock got into it a little bit, but again, then I think that's when that save was made by Butland. But they're always going to have a moment in the half, and we survived it. Again, that's not always been the case, and especially this season. But the players look like they're buying into it, Ross. And I know it's early days, and I don't want to get too ahead of myself, and I am trying to check myself. But we are, as a support, as fans of this club, be it you go to the games or not, we're all desperate to get behind this team. We're all absolutely desperate for it. We want to see something that we go, right, there's something that we can fully get behind. There's progress being made. There's a step being made. We will stick with the team. And I think the reaction after like Kilmarnock equalising, then going 2-1 up, even after Kilmarnock's little bit, we stayed with the team. I don't think there wasn't overly negative stuff. The few moans and groans that you always get, yes, mostly at Kevin Clancy as well, but we all know why we moan at Kevin Clancy. But I think the crowd are going to buy into it, mate, and I think the players just on that game alone bought into what he was saying, because Rohl will come to the Shermetti goal. That goal comes from just Rangers not giving up, winning the ball high, taking advantage, being in the space at the right time. Might get a few lucky breaks of the ball, but that's all part of it. Shermetti just absolutely puts his boot through it, mate. Absolutely puts his boot straight through it. Keeper makes a bit of a howler, I'm not going to lie. He should probably be saved that, but he does get some amount of power behind it. And I cannot stress enough that if I had a free £10 bet on Sunday, I would not have put it on Danilo and Shermetti scoring, but I would have been very, very happy to lose that £10 free bet, mate, because it is crucial for Shermetti to get off and scoring for Rangers. There's a wee bit made about his celebration. I think that's all a wee bit mountain out of a molehill, I'm not going to lie. It's now up to him to kick on from that, but him getting a goal, mate, is crucial for him and for the fans to go, right, well, you've scored a goal now. The monkey's off the back.
It is off the back. Yeah, it's not one that will. I'm sure it won't make the Instagram highlight reel. But as you say, mate, it doesn't matter because he's scored, and I just hope that's where he kicks on. He brings the ball down brilliantly. You know, it's not an easy ball fizzed into him, and it's one of these ones. If it's just a wee bit more to the left, the keeper's not saving it because the power behind it is quite phenomenal. So yeah, it's for the celebration. You see it quite frequently, mate. You do. I think recently it was Enzo Fernandez down at Chelsea, and you know you can just see that there's something annoying him, and there's only one way to get that aggression off: score a goal, and then that's your chance to let your thoughts be known. I'm not saying that I agree with it. I don't at all. I didn't really notice it until I watched it back. But aye, a young lad, he'll learn. Like Rohl said that he's spoke to him. He won't do it again. He won't do it again. But it's as I say, mate, three fit firing strikers. If this is the one that gets that third striker on the go, because I think, as you say, we'll come and speak about Miovski. Miovski's shown a bit. Danilo's scored. He's shown that he can do it. If this is now Chamity's time to come on and do it as well, then as I say, the more the merrier. We're needing strikers for this week, especially because there will not be many chances coming our way, and when they do, you need to put them in the back of the net. So Chamity, it's a start. Let's see some more, big chap. Love it.
Yeah, William Martin made the point. He scores, he celebrates, give us more big guy, celebrate however you like. And to be honest, I'm all for it. See if there's something burning inside of him. See if there's a point that he wants to prove, and that's how he's going to release it. And that was just a wee bit of release. And now he's like, right, I've scored now. I'm going to kick on from it. I'm absolutely fine with it. Generally, absolutely fine with it. Don't ever shush your own fans, however, but just show us now. You've scored your goal. You've got that, as you say, you've got that monkey off your back now. It's time to kick on from that. It's time for us to see more from you. But yeah, I'm delighted for him. Genuinely, I was delighted for it. I really was. I was like, right, Danilo and Schmidt, he scored. I've been wrong twice in one game. Fantastic. I mean, fantastic. I always want to be wrong. Say it all the time when I have my opinions on players. I always want to be wrong. And yeah, it was enjoyable. And even after that, well, before I come to go after that, I'm going to just bring it back to Miovski. Ross, I'm a wee bit worried about Miovski, and this is probably the only real negative that I'm going to have tonight is I'm not seeing very much. His hold-up play in the first half was bad. I mean, really bad. Some of his touches were awful, really, really poor. I obviously want him to succeed massively like I do every Rangers player, and I'm certainly not writing him off because I do know that he can score goals in this league. We've all seen that he can score goals in this league, and it got me thinking, no matter how good we were, or how much better we were, not good, how much better we were than what we've seen previously, we still didn't create very many what you can call clear-cut goal scoring opportunities. I don't think that's something that still needs to get worked on for sure. And maybe when we start doing that, we might see more of Miovski. Maybe he's just not getting the ball where he wants it in order to make the biggest impact on games. I might be being overly generous there, but Rangers have won their first league game of the season at Ibrox, so I'm always going to give a little bit of leeway in that regard. What's your thoughts, Ross?
Yeah, it's right. It's right to be concerned, to be fair, because we know what the guy's capable of. We've seen it, unfortunately, with our own eyes, because he scored against us, for goodness sake. But he can find the back of the net. For me, if I'm picking a Rangers team, which we'll get on to, I'm probably still starting Miovski because I know that he's got that in him. I think it's just the last few games has maybe been a bit turbulent for the guy. As you say, the serves isn't there. I think going back to, I mean, how many times have we said, Dessers missed a chance. He was in those positions, but that shows that he was getting the service. There was clearly balls going into the box that got him there. As you said, we can't say that Miovski's missing these chances because there's no service coming in. There's a clear problem there. So I think I'm on your side, mate, to be fair, in terms of get the guy service, and we've got the wingers to do it. You know, Ant-Man, as much as he wasn't there at the weekend, some cross on him. We saw that last Thursday. Gisama, when he's up to it, because I think that he's probably going through a bit of a tricky spell as well, to be fair, Gisama. I think he's not the raging Gisama that we've seen the last few weeks. But again, these things happen. The patches, etc. It'll literally take a goal versus Celtic. It's one of these things, and that'll kick them on. So I'm just, a big moment on Wednesday. So I do think there's there's time just now. There is time just now. If we were
Oh yeah.
if we were trailing a game, then you'd look at it and go, "Oh, we're an absolute shambles. No strikers can score." Just now, we can obviously not being blinded by the fact that we've won, but you can sit back and go, right, we can breathe. We can breathe. Danilo's scored. Chermiti's scored. Miovski will come. He will. So aye. One for me, mate. We'll be keeping an eye on them, of course, but there's a lot still to come from Miovski. I'm very, very confident about that.
Yeah, I'm hoping the adaptability that Rohl stands by and has already kind of shown to the Rangers fans that he will do in terms of formation changes and whatever he finds a way, as people have said in the chat, to unlock the best out of Miovski and playing a way that's going to suit him as well and give him as many goal scoring opportunities as possible. I still think he'll come good, and obviously I always want an ex-Aberdeen player that's now a Rangers player to become good, because it annoys my stepdad something chronic. It really does. So that's more the reason than any that I want. But I still believe that he'll come good. He has to find a bit of form, and if not, he'll need to show some adaptability as well to play that way Rohl wants. But it's all made easier, mate, when your other two strikers score a goal on the day, isn't it? So yes, but he had a particularly poor first half. You spoke about wingers, mate, and one man that deserves I say, in my opinion, is Mikey Moore. By far the best 45 minutes I have seen from the lad in a Rangers jersey. He looked like a different player. It honestly didn't look like the same guy. The work rate of him, the just constantly driving forward with a ball, that he was an example for me of the shackles have been took off of you. You've been told, on you go play your game, just get on with it, hunt every ball down. And I thought he was great. I thought our work rate, our desire to win the ball back was getting pretty much led by him, and you can see that Rohl wants us to press from the front, and I thought he led it. I thought for 45 minutes with an appearance, and obviously he was involved in the last, they looked like we'd went 4 up and Raskin was through, and Raskin finished superbly, but it was a very tight offside call, very tight is what I will say, but Mikey Moore was the one that was involved in that, but by far Ross the best we've seen of the lad.
Oh, aye, 100%. And how long have we been waiting for that? There's been so many times that I almost need to hold myself back, having a go at him, because you need to remember his age, etc. Coming up, I know it's just up the road, but coming up to this environment, it must be tricky. But that's what we're after. That's why he probably won't play for Rangers one day. In terms of permanently, that's why Tottenham have just given him a new contract, because that's what he's capable of. So he's probably deserved a start. I think I'd probably be starting him on Wednesday, to be fair. But I remember his debut, and I saw him, and I was like, yep, he's got a bit of something. I saw that again in Sunday, genuinely, and I've not seen that since. So that's what we're after. And as well, just obviously with Ant-Man being out, having that backup there, we've been needing that for a while. We need that in all positions, but if we can start having that, as we've been speaking about, Danilo's getting back, Chermiti's scoring. If we can have that all over, Moore's your option. If Ant-Man's your number one, let's have that strong backup as well. So delighted for him, mate. Delighted for him, and I hope that it's the start of many more good performances.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. I just thought it was much more like it. And even when we were speaking about it, the guys round about me, I was like, that doesn't look like the same guy. And look, it might be an effect of having a manager that can clearly communicate with the players. And I'm not having a dig. I'm just saying we've heard multiple times that Martin's style was unique in terms of the way that he wanted to play football. So, and unique, you can perceive that in any way that you want, I suppose. But maybe it is just a loosening of the shackles, an understanding between the head coach and the player that this is what I want you to do, now go and do it, and it seemed to work, because he was very impressive and clearly showed that he wants to be involved, which is what we're all asking for of these players, is be involved and have desire, and I thought, and he had it in abundance, he really did. Rundgren 1961 I'll go with, but thank you for becoming a YouTube member, very much appreciated. Thank you for the support. I thought the fans were great on Sunday. Really stuck with the team, mate, and stuck with Danny Röhl. And it had me thinking about just small wins that Danny Röhl can do just now. We spoke about one of them, mate, in terms of adaptability and eagerness to show that he's willing to change almost not game by game. You don't want it just to become pure scattergun. Of course, there will be fundamentals of it that will remain the same, but just changing shapes, changing during games as well. These are all wee things that fans see and we can identify with, because if we can see it, then why can the managers not see it? And that's always something that was put towards Russell Martin. He has a philosophy, he has a style, he has an ideology of how he wants to play, but he clearly knows that he has to work on certain things in order to get to that position. It's not a case of this is just what we do and we don't change until we get it right, which again, I think is going to buy him time. If it isn't going to buy him anything else, I think it will buy him time in the eyes of the Rangers support. But I think another one that I thought, mate, is every time I hear him speak, he's not gaslighting us. I don't feel like he's gaslighting us. I think he is honest. I think even after the game, he said, I think his quote was, it was a small step, but no more. And for me, I was like, perfect. He literally could have got up from the press conference at that point and walked out. Because I went, it's exactly it. It's a step forward, but it's no more than that. The guy, with just doing the basics, little things, mate, he'll buy small wins. He'll buy the credit back. As I said before, mate, as a Rangers support, we are desperate to get behind him. We are behind him, obviously, as things stand. But like, we're fully wanting to back the guy. We're fully wanting to back the team. And everything that he's doing so far, I'm just going, small win, tick, small win, tick. And it's early days, I get this, but I'm desperate for it, the small wins to become big wins, and then we go into different things. But so far, so good, mate. Apart from Thursday, but you can't really bring Thursday up.
No, you can't. That's what happens when you wear a suit. That is why the tradition is there to wear a suit.
Brown brogues, yes.
Exactly. But it's the basics.
Even wee things like, that's what I mean, mate. See, even things like that, see, even saying that, this is a club's tradition. I don't wear a shirt and tie, but this is a tradition. It's important to me to respect the tradition. I was like, yeah, of course it is.
Exactly. Mate, honestly, spot on. That's literally all we're after. I think one thing for me actually was, it was after the game on Thursday. Obviously, he's just in the door. He's really put his passport on his kitchen table. He's just in, and yet his first instinct after a loss is, yep, go over to the fans, apologise to them. Don't get me wrong, I don't want to see that happen often, Danny. Like, we want to be winning, but wee things like that just shows that class about him. He's got that level about him that, for, whenever he came in the door, you look at 36, like, he's young, inexperienced. This is things that experienced heads, you'd look at and go, he should be doing things like that. He's shown that at that don't get me wrong, 36, I know he's still older than my good self, but you know what I mean? He's shown that bit of class about him that I think we've been needing, because there's been too many times where we've listened to press conference of a certain Mr. Martin that's just left you feeling enraged at times. So there's been many a times where Danny Röhl, you just sit back and smile at the guy. As much as cheesy as it sounds, he's saying all the right things. And after the weekend, he's putting it to practice. He's putting things in the pitch, and that's always important. But so, for me, he wasn't the first choice for me. But very slowly, if he can be doing things like this, then he's a guy. He's a guy. So as he says, mate, it's a small step, but it's 3 points in the right direction.
Yeah, it is, and I just think he's handling himself very well. I think he's trying to show quite quickly that he fully understands the job in hand. He understands the club, and this is all things that, if it does come to fruition, that it's correct, and he's not gaslighting us as such. I think he'll just buy himself more time than most, because that's what we're all looking for. That's what we're all desperate to really get behind. And yeah, he wears a suit, so long he can stay here as long as he wants, as long as he's not kicking about in Pep Guardiola's B wardrobe, then yes, I'm fine with it. But he's done himself no harm at all. Still early days, of course, yes, but he's done himself well. We obviously took advantage of another result to get us closer to another team that you would consider a title challengers anyway for this season, mate. Which obviously Celtic dropping points at Hearts. It leads me on to Scottish football as a whole right now. And look, we don't often talk about the other side of the city on this pod. It's not something we do. However, it's all pretty relevant right now, I think. Hearts are 8 points clear at the top of the league. They are 13 points ahead of Rangers. Every time the words come out my mouth, I'm like, how have we managed to get here? But 13 points clear of us. We are on our second manager of the season, and we're only 4 months into it. He only had 4 months as a tenure, and then we've changed manager. The other side of the city have lost their manager through extraordinary circumstances. I mean, I've seen some things in my time as a Rangers fan. We went through the statement years where it was statement after statement after statement from Rangers. I have never in my life seen a statement like that released by a club owner about a manager that has left their club. That is the word. The only word is extraordinary. I've never seen anything like it. Ross, we're a bin fire, and we have been this season. We're slowly starting to put the flames out. It looks like with Danny Röhl, that's what we're all hoping for anyway. We've kind of looked at across the city and went, look how big this bin fire is, and they've went, cool, hold my beer a minute. But we could probably do worse than that. The reason I bring it up, one, it's very funny. That is funny, and it's nice to be able to laugh at them for a change, but it's comical stuff. It really is. With Martin O'Neill now coming in as a kind of showpiece for the Celtic fans in the kind of interim. But the thing that it is for us, mate, is not that we need to be in turmoil. We don't. We need to get our act together. We need to sort out our house before we can really consider ourselves possible title challengers. Maybe not this season, next season, whatever way you're thinking about that, whatever way your glass is at that point. But if they're going to do their best to set fire to themselves, mate, then I'm here for it, because it's only going to make Danny Röhl's job a little bit easier. Have you ever known a league? I know you're much younger than me. I have never known a league, a Scottish season, to go anything like this. I really haven't. And some may argue, if Hearts don't win it this season, they're never going to.
No, never. Genuinely extraordinary stuff, mate. Extraordinary stuff. It's, I mean, the statement itself, you listen back to it today, and it is absolutely wild. For where we were, last week, the week before, still looking for a manager, you genuinely think that the tides could not turn, because, as you say, we were in complete turmoil. We were absolute turmoil. It took us way too long to get a guy in the door. The 2 guys that we wanted didn't necessarily want us. It's just, Jay, where was it going to go? Then eventually things work out for us, and then something else has to go. You must know it's Old Firm week, because there's never ever a dull moment. But just the manner of it, probably the timing of it as well, in terms of this big massive game coming up at the weekend, it's wild. It's absolutely wild, mate. There's very much little there's not very more I can say about that. It's just. Ultimately, it makes it more frustrating how bad we are, because
yes,
we could be up there just now. We could be the team who's X amount of points clear, but we've shot ourselves in the foot. So it does make it more frustrating. If you're a Hearts fan, you're buzzing, but we're Rangers fans, mate, and I can't look at it and not be frustrated that we've not capitalised on it, because as much as Hearts are good, I think if we did our business right, then we could be right up there as well. So it is frustrating, but we'll have a laugh as long as we win on Sunday, because if it comes back to bite us on Sunday, I'll need to hide in the cupboard. The t-shirt's not coming out, and neither am I. So it's there's I'll hold my breath until Sunday. But it's a good laugh, mate. It's a good laugh.
Yeah, people in glass houses and all that, mate. I completely understand that. I do. I really do. But I would be lying if I didn't say I laughed quite hard at that statement last night. I found it rather funny. And I thought, well, they're doing their best here to help us out. So I suppose not always rivals. I suppose they're trying to do their best to help us. But yeah, it's comical stuff. It really is. There's never... In my lifetime, there's never been a season like this. There really hasn't. And yeah, I mean, Hearts now have to be considered favourites. They have to be considered favourites for this league. And it's no disrespect to Hearts, by the way. I mean, they've done what they had to do. But I do 100% get your point about it is frustrating. It is frustrating when you look at what could have been if we'd have got this right in the summer, instead of hanging on to Russell Martin for as long as we did. but it's still funny. And any opportunity I get to laugh at them, I will. I just will. It's just what I'll do. But just an absolutely bonkers season. Bonkers so far. But let's hope we're at the turning point of that. Just funny. But we've got Hibs tomorrow night, mate, at Easter Road. Hibs are currently third with 14 points from 9 games. They won the game at the weekend away to Aberdeen by 2-1. The press conference was today. Danny Röhl, just a kind of notable quote from it really is that we're building something here, not just tactically, but culturally. Every player knows what is expected. Hibernian are a strong side at home. We'll need to be sharp, focused and brave. He made a comment, a few players are struggling for are under kind of, they'll be tested for their fitness, but he thinks everything's going to be fine in that regard. Ross, it is game by game for Rangers just now. We have to go on a winning run. We have to, especially in the league, we really have to be looking at winning every single game up to at least Christmas. We have to be... we have to get some form of momentum going in the league, considering just the disastrous start that we have had. Hibs Easter Road midweek game, it's always one of the ones that people look at in the calendar, I think, kind of circle it. It's one of the ones that's always a test going to Easter Road, even though our form tends to be not bad at Easter Road. But ahead of the game, I think it's crucial for us to continue to build on what we've done. I would hate to see that after the positive feel, the positive reaction there's been to the way Rangers performed on Sunday, and again, nobody's getting carried away saying that we're going on to win the Champions League or anything of the likes, but it was a step in the right direction, and I think it's important for Rohl to show that he's going to continue that step, and it's not one step forward, 2 steps back like we've seen so many times before. The last time we played Hibs was in the League Cup, obviously at Ibrox we won 2-0, and everybody can thank me for that result because I was in the gantry that day with Stevie for 4 lads, and every time I go to the gantry and do press duties with Stevie, we win. So you're welcome, everybody. But ahead of the game, Ross, it's just crucial for us to continue to build on what we started on Sunday.
It has to be. It's the first thing I emphasised when they came in. You win in the Wednesday, you then go to the Saturday, then go to the Thursday. This is now that stage of putting it into practice. So, as you say, mate, it's must-win territory. If we can get a form momentum going, who knows what the table could look like by Christmas. We've seen the other side of the city drop points. I don't know what to make of Hearts. Genuinely, mate, have no idea, because I'll be honest, I thought they would have potentially started going the downward spiral by now. Does not look like it at all. But genuinely, if we can start picking up momentum, then what can happen? At the end of the day, it will always come down to what Rangers do. As much as I'll look at the league table, it's about if we can win a game, then we're doing our bit. So if we can control those controllables, get to 3 points, then we'll be on our way. Especially when if there's any game where you want that wee bit of momentum, obviously we'll get on to it when we on Friday's pod and make sure everyone tune in, because Friday will be an absolute cracker. But if there's one game this weekend, if there's one game that you need a bit of momentum for, it's that. So let's go and build tomorrow night, and a few good performances continuing from the weekend. That's all we can ask for. That's all we can ask for. And Easter Road, yeah, it's as you say, mate, it's one of these venues. It sounds trickier than it is on paper. I do think a Rangers team should be going to Hibs in recent times, and should be coming away with comfortable is maybe not the word, but we should be winning at Easter Road. So yes, it's easier said than done, but with Danny Röhl at the wheel, I have good faith, mate. I have good faith.
It's all about winning. It really is. I'm not overly fussed about what we see. We've been so starved of seeing consistent league wins that I think we're all in agreement in that regard. I don't think anybody that I've spoke to is overly bothered if Rangers play ugly and still win the game. It's just crucial for us to keep winning games and finding a way to win the games, not giving up when things might not go our way. You have to continue to kick on, and you have to do it for 90 minutes. If we do that against most of the teams in the league, we should come out on top. We've got even some of the, in the second half, as you spoke about, Ross, second half on Sunday, some of the football that we played was good passing football, moved the ball really well from one side to another quickly as well. It wasn't laboured, it wasn't too many touches for touches' sake. It was getting the ball moving forward, and that's the progression of the stuff that you want to see. That's the bit that you want to see. We are playing a lot more football in their half, not between our centre halves. That seems to have gone. The playing out from the back bit seems to have gone to an extent as well, which again I'm here for, because it was not good for my ticker. But this has just got to hope that now we are beginning to see something big gel between these players and something click in their heads that, hang on a wee minute here, we play for Rangers, we are better than these teams, we should be the ones that are feeling confident about going here and implementing our game onto them and not reacting to what they are doing to us. It's all about us continuing to win. It's all about us building momentum, and I don't care how Rangers do it. I don't care if it's a last minute winner. I could not care. I just want Rangers to continue to win games of football, and for the players to keep up the desire, the work rate, the application that we've seen for the majority of the game on Sunday. I don't think that's too much to ask as a Rangers player. It's kind of the basics. It's the fundamentals of being a Rangers player. So we have time to go there and do it. Tough game, of course it is. Every game's going to be tough for us now. We are going into the game kind of unknown about what formation you'll pick, about what even team he'll pick, and so are other managers. Looking at this going, I'm not really sure what he is going to do here. It will be interesting to see how we line up tomorrow night. But on that, Ross, we will try and predict what we think our teams are going to be. So you can go first, mate, if you want. What do you think the team will be tomorrow night, and your score and goal scorer predictions as well?
I'm gonna go Butland in goal, stick with the back four. I think Tav sort of Cornelius me whether it acts a back four. I just traditional Rangers. I've written it out as a 4-3-3, knowing that it could be anything you like. But being the layman's man that I am, I've written out as a 4-3-3. So same back four. Midfield, I'm going Raskin, Diamande. Thought Diamande was alright in the game.
It's alright.
It was decent.
Yeah, he was.
Yep. Was a decent hour on his legs, so I think I'd be giving him the start. So go Raskin, Diamande, Asgard, who I thought had some good touches in the game. I think we're still to see the Asgard, if you know what I mean. But I think that's 2 starts for him in a row under Danny Röhl. So I think he'll probably start with Asgard.
I think Asgard for me needs to stamp his authority on the game. He needs to put his mark on the game a lot more. He does with neat touches, mate. He's very good at winning free kicks when when our backs are to the walls, and he does show some really good awareness with his movement and with his passing ability. But he needs to, that way, just grab the game, make the game yours, because you've got it in you. I think that's what we all hope, that he has that in him, to be able to grab a game and say, no, I'm going to create something here, I'm going to make something happen. That's what I'm looking for anyway.
Exactly, it's what you want in your number 10. You need that guy who's got a wee bit of flair, but also that end product at the end of the day, making, as you say, mate, stamp your mark. So I hope to see that tomorrow from Asgard. My front three, I'm going Gassam on the left, Mikey Moore on the right. I genuinely think Mikey Moore on the right, I'd be getting him in there. And then up front, I've been humming and hawing with it, but I've went with Miovski. As I say, the guy, he can score, and he can score full stop, not just in the league, he can score goals. I just think get a goal under his belt, and I'd be looking to start him on Sunday. That's kind of, but with one eye on Sunday, if I'm looking at, right, if the chances come, who do I want to default to? Miovski. So if we get him a wee bit of confidence going into that game, then I'm here for it. So I apologise to Mr. He's Brazilian and our man Chamiti, but I'm starting Miovski. I might be off of judgment of that, but I'm starting Miovski. Score, I'm going for an absolute classic, mate. 3-2 Rangers. Genuinely, I think it's struck ourselves in box office with a Raskin. He'll score from a corner. He'll. I don't know how the boy does it. He's one of the smallest players on the pitch. He'll get that front post header that he loves. So that's what I'm going for tomorrow night. And yes, I just hope it comes to fruition.
I am a wee bit torn about what I would play. I am not a big fan of Gassama on the right hand side. I don't think he's as impactful in the game as he is when he plays on the left. But I do think Mikey Moore deserves a start. So I'm a wee bit torn about what to do there. I think just based on that 45 minutes alone, Mikey Moore deserves a start. And it's amazing how quick your opinion can change when you actually see something from a player. So I'm kind of torn with it. I think it'll be a variation of what you've said. I don't think I'm not getting much changes in that. It's just how do you get Asgard, Gisama and Mikey Moore all in the positions that you want them to play, if that makes sense, as well as having cover on your right hand side, because Tav will probably slip into the kind of back three that we've seen with Cornelius being the defensive backup to Magoma. So, but I didn't mind the system at all, because I thought it freed up Magoma quite a lot, and I thought he was good going forward. But just Gisama on the right for me doesn't really work. But I think it would be unfair to take Magoma out. So, and I don't think, I don't know, it's difficult. It is difficult. So my team's in there somewhere. If you want to try and dissect what I just said, it is in there somewhere. But what I will say is I think Shamiti will start. I think it will be, right, you've scored now. Let's actually see you kick on. Let's see what you can do. So I think it will be Shamiti, but I think it will be more a 3-4-2-1, because that looked better suited and balanced than what we'd seen when it was a 3-5-2 as such, with two up front. Who knows? Maybe he'll try and get Danilo and Danilo, Majowski, Shamiti, Turam into the team. All three of them look like they could be doing with playing in a two at times. So that's maybe something we'll look at. But it is unknown kind of going into it to see what we are going to see from them. But if I was to pick one striker alone, I think you'll start with Shamiti. I'm going to go a clean sheet for Rangers. I'm going to go 2-0 Rangers. I think we'll see something. There you go, me hyping up and getting all aboard the Danny Röhl train. No problem at all. I'm your man. But I'll go 2-0 Rangers. Rangers to get a clean sheet, and I'll go for Shamiti to score first. You can't have me. I can't be any more positive than that tonight, Ross. I don't think. I really think that'd be impossible for me to be more positive than that. But just crucial that Rangers win the game. Just absolutely crucial that Rangers win the game. Just go there, do the business. Get the 3 points, get that momentum of 2 wins under our belt, 2 consecutive wins in the league in a row before we head into what is an absolutely unpredictable, massive tie on Sunday, based on the bin fire that both clubs seem to be having. Theirs has just started, ours is teetering out a little bit, so I don't know who that's going to help more than the other. For tonight, Ross, thank you very much for joining me, mate.
Thank you, mate. It's a pleasure as always. Absolute pleasure. It's a big week, mate. It's a big week, and you're going into this week with a slightly bigger smile than I imagined, to be fair, after. So, as you say, mate, well, the world's a mental place. The world's an absolute mental place. So, we'll see what happens when we get into the weekend's game, but I need to focus on tomorrow night, because as you say, mate, it's one game at a time. Let's go into the game tomorrow and get this momentum started. So, yes, Danny Röhl, it's 1-for-1. In the league, I will specify in the league. Let's make it 2-for-2. So yes, thank you as always, mate.
Spot on, mate. Spot on. Thank you, everybody in the chat. I hope you enjoyed a more positive chat from me tonight. I really tried, honestly. I thought I'm going to be as positive as I can be tonight, because I hate being negative all the time, and it's nice to be able to sit here on a Tuesday and speak to you about a win. And let's hope tomorrow night, when you see our faces, it will be after a win at Easter Road. And as Ross said, it's 2-for-2 in the league for Danny Röhl. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, all the usual stuff. We will be back tomorrow, win, lose or draw, with a club reaction pod, so make sure you tune in for that. Thank you for listening to us. We are Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. Cheers, everybody.